Back here with Blunderpacks. We're at 1368. And it looks like we have the black pieces. My opponent's playing e4, so we're going to play e5. c6. Sorry. Yeah, we don't play e4, e5. We play the Caro-Kann, baby. And the Caro-Kann's a super good weapon, especially at this level. Like, okay, so my opponent plays bishop to b5, but we can just play bishop d7. If they take, we get development. If they don't, well, like if they play like something like this, if my opponent were to have played like queen e2, I would probably just develop. There would be no need to take and take, because then they would be able to take on b6. But now with this, we can develop our knight. Then we're going to play e6, get the bishop out, develop the knight, and we're going to be very, very happy. Because in the Caro-Kann, we have a lot of pawns on light squares. So typically, we'll bring out our bishop to like g4 anyways and trade it off. So we basically got a free move because the opponent moved the bishop once, twice, I moved it once, and then developed. So they moved 2 times, and I moved once, and the other move that I used was a developing move, if that makes any sense to you. Rook e1. Let's just keep it simple. Develop the knight. In the exchange Caro-Kann, Alex Banzea likes to say that we like to play on this side of the board. So after we develop and castle, we'll be bringing the rook to the c file and maybe trying to advance with the minority attack. Let's play bishop to d6. We don't really have to be worried about bishop g5 because we can move the queen and not be worried about damaging the pawn structure. Since they helped us get the knight here. Yeah, they bring this out. It's no problem. Let's just castle. They bring their knight out. So if I were to go here, there would be some kind of knight to c5, or there would be some kind of knight b5 hitting the bishop. Queen, we don't want any of that. We want to start pushing the pawns anyway, so we're going to play a6, stopping anything from coming to b5. And we might ask the bishop the question, like, what are you doing? And they definitely should not take. Queen up. So if I were to go here, are they going to sacrifice? They might sacrifice. I'm noticing I could move the bishop here. I could also bring the queen here with the same threat. But then there's knight takes, I guess. So here takes, queen takes. We don't really want that. Let's just bring our rook. Get the rook on the open file. And then maybe b5, b4. Queen c7 is going to be a move as well. We typically like to have the queen on c7. It's applying pressure this way and also applying pressure to this as well. So let's go here. We get out of the pin. Now the knight can move if need be, and they're not going to take. So that would be a bad move, just simply giving up the bishop for no reason. And maybe now we're going to be playing for b5 because we can play b4, and if takes. I guess then there's rook here, but we would be winning this pawn. Takes here. So we see rook b1. Okay, so that is triggering alarms for me. Oh, okay. So my opponent plays rook b1, but that actually allows us to play bishop takes a3, removing the defender of this knight. So we're winning a pawn, but they're going to be able to take here. But maybe it's not that great. Yeah, maybe it's not that great. I thought I was genius. And now, yeah, no. It's not, it's really not that great. They also might have had like intermezzos. But okay, so let's take and then take. They're gonna take here. Now let's attack this. We're also defending this pawn. And we're gonna want to move this so they can't take and take. Okay, they go there. So my opponent's sacrificing the rook, but I don't think this works. Because I just take the rook and then... Oh, wait. Wait, oh, never mind. I almost hung my rook. It does work. So we have to take back. That was a nice little intermezzo by my opponent. But I still don't think it's that great. This pawn's under attack and this one's under attack, so... You can defend it that way. I think they might have been able to play rook c7. But now we can just take here. There was no rook to c1, by the way, because of knight takes d3. We have an outside fast pawn now. Okay, they're doubling the rooks. Rooks have been doubled. What do I want to play for? I could go here, but then they just play this, but then I can bring the knight to this square. Maybe we do that. Let's go here. If they start trading off pieces, I should be pretty happy. Because we're up a pawn. And maybe we're going to go for e5, d4, and cement the knight in. We have some ideas. Instead, they go for activity here. I'm simply just going to put the knight on a good square. And we just need to push our pawn. They might be able to win it, but it's not going to be so easy for them. Okay. They don't want me to push our pawns, potentially. What are they trying to do there? I don't understand this move. I guess they couldn't really go this way. Because then there's back rank. Do I get behind? Let's get behind our passed pawn so that I can move this. So I can go here, try to attack this pawn. If they attack me, I can just move. It goes there. Trying to go... Where are they trying to go? Here, I guess. What if I just attack the pawn? I think I can play rook a2. They cannot defend the pawn using this, otherwise they get forked. Very important. But I don't see another way of protecting this pawn. But we'll see what my opponent comes up with. Yeah, they play knight back, so they want to trade knights. But I can just take the pawn. If they take my knight, then we trade. I could also take, if I wanted, I could also pin. But I don't see a need to go there. So I think I'll just take the pawn. And then if they take the knight, we'll take back. And now we're just up 2 pawns. We're attacking a third pawn. And we're just threatening to push. I think it's time to just push the pawn. Rather than taking a free pawn. To be completely honest. They'll probably make a luft so that they can move the rook. That would be logical. But let's see. Okay, instead they go there. I don't understand rook to d7 because it's not really attacking this pawn. Let's just push. We're 4 squares away from promoting. Let's just keep pushing. They're gonna have to go here at some point. Okay, let's just keep pushing. Rook there. I mean, I should probably protect this, to be honest. Can I push? Takes? No. We can't allow them to actually have all that activity. So I guess I'll go protect. Now they're going to attack the pawn. But I mean, we're just going to be up so many pawns anyways. So let's take. And let's push our pawns in the center. I mean, we're always protecting this. I could bring the king up too. The rook always has to be here protecting. Probably not the cleanest way, but it's not that bad. Rook goes there. I guess I'll just push the pawn protecting it. King goes all the way back. Now I'm just going to bring the king. The king has to get activated. Let's not lose our pawn. Let's just go here. We're going to walk the king up. And we have a way of pushing the pawn. So we can advance in one way. Okay, but if they decide to do that, if they decide to trade one of the rooks, I think this is just completely winning. Let's bring the king. And then we want to get our rook active. Here. If we can get this, takes, king takes here, this will be a completely winning king and pawn endgame. Yeah, so they don't want that. So we're going to activate the rook anyways, first. And now we're just going to try and get the king involved. Maybe even h5 is a good move. I could push. Here. Let's bring the king. Bring the king forward. So now I'm threatening to push. If king here, check, takes, king takes, and king f3 wins the game on the spot. Okay, so they go there. They're attacking my pawn, but check here, check. King has to go back, and then I just advance with my king. Takes. Well, no. Here, king here, check. King back, king up. Check here. I mean, this has to be winning. Just going here. We're just encroaching on the king. If they go here, that is. They don't have to go there. But if they don't go there, then I'll just play something like this. They just step back. Now I think I'm going to be patient. I'm going to play rook here. And the plan is, if they take, I'll just take here. Like, we got these pawns. If they give a check, I'll step up. And their king is now cut off. Okay, but now I can just take this pawn. This move didn't really do anything. And I can step up, threatening checkmate. My opponent resigns. GG. All right, we played that game with a 90.8. My opponent played very well. They played with an 83, but it was just a few minor mistakes. Like, subtly in the opening, you shouldn't play bishop here. Like, I know it says that it's a good move, but there's no reason to give this check, because after I block and then just develop, I simply have a very, very easy plan of here, 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 castles. Queen here, rook here, probably some advancement. Exactly what we saw in the game, right? So you just make my life insanely easy. And as you can see, Stockfish is screaming for queen c7, but we wanted to develop and castle first. I feel like that's not bad. For humans, we can try and stick to the principles as much as possible. But regardless, we're doing everything pretty much right. This was bad. I thought it was fine at first, but it actually gives a lot of counterplay after takes, 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 takes. They get the active rook. They found... Oh, apparently, wait, they can take... And what happens after this? I guess they just have this. But my opponent did it in a different way, where they get to damage the pawn structure. It's not really that bad, though, because we get the pawn, we're up a pawn, we can improve the knight, and then my opponent comes in and allows the knight to a really nice square. They have to go here. I thought this was weird, but you can't really go anywhere else. You can't go here. I mean, you could go here, that's really passive. You can't go here. So this makes sense. I know in the video I said that it feels weird, but yeah, no, that makes sense. And then they just allowed us to target their weakness. We won another pawn, trading more pieces. And then, we get all this. We allow the rooks on the 7th. Now, this is some insane counterplay being allowed. But, we can just protect. But you got to be very careful, because you cannot do something like this. Oh, wait. Apparently you can. Oh, because checkmate. So wait a minute. Why did I not just... Why was I scared of this? Yeah, and then what can they even do here? They have to play rook a7. Ah. Oh, I see it. So it forced a rook trade, basically. And then you can protect. Okay, I completely overlooked that. Just protected the pawn. And then we have this. And I thought this was pretty decent. I didn't think that trading here was that great. I felt like the opponent should probably try to keep both rooks on the board, just to create as much counterplay as possible. But at the same time, like, that pawn is super duper strong, so there's not much you can really do here. And then we were able to encroach the king. And here I was looking at takes and then just simply taking here, protecting this pawn. That was the plan. So, yeah. I mean, once you get to this position, there's not a whole lot. If they ever give a check, like after this, if they were to go check, you just bring the king up. And, yeah, I mean, it's saying go rook d7. It's really scared of the pawn, so... But even then, you just get this position. So. And then my opponent resigns because there's not much you can do. If you make a random move, just king here, you pretty much... You're just going to lose, right? Like, rook f1 here, maybe just king up, and then you're going to promote. Probably have to sack. It says go rook a2 here. I don't know why it keeps popping up, by the way. I'm sorry. Anyways, you get the point. GG to my opponent. All right, we have the white pieces. We're going to go e4. My opponent's playing d5. Let's go ahead and capture the pawn. Most people will take back or bring out the knight, but my opponent takes queen. So let's go ahead and tempo that queenski. And my opponent just goes all the way back. That's perfectly reasonable. Now we're just going to look to develop our pieces and castle. Let's get our knight out. They're pinning us. I'm not really too concerned, but I think for the sake, let's kick this out. Let's kick this out of our camp immediately. The opponent should not take. Okay, but they do. So let's capture with our queen. Now there's an immediate threat here. And now I'm seeing that this is a vulnerable square, so let's develop our bishop with tempo. We're threatening not checkmate, but we're threatening to win a pawn. They stop that. And now we're simply just going to open up our pieces. We have 3 pieces developed. Now I can pin. Let's get out our other piece. Let's just keep developing. If they break out of the pin, no worries. I could long castle. I think maybe long castling's an interesting choice. Let's go ahead and long castle here. Let's have an interesting game. My opponent goes there. So if they go here, I might sack the bishop. Wait, potentially. Knight here, there's takes. Let's go h4. Start pushing our pawns. And now let's ask the knight to trade. They don't want to trade, obviously. They're trying to trap the bishop. So my opponent plays a5. And on the next move, they will go here, if possible. So we don't want to allow that. We could either push the pawn, which I think I like, trying to put the bishop onto this file. Or we could have played like a3 and made room. But I think putting the bishop on this diagonal is going to be much, much more valuable. So they want to trade. I don't want to trade. I want them to take so that I can open up my rook. So let's first. If I play bishop to d4, bishop d3, they're gonna play knight here. I don't know how great that is. Okay, whatever. Let's let them do it. They can go knight here. And then I'll play king b1. They'll take, I'll take with the queen. Said they don't want to do that. That is fine. I mean, okay. Maybe now we just put the knight on a great square. I could go here. They can take, queen takes, but we have this. So I'm going to go knight here. They can also take this way, I guess, which I kind of overlooked. They're going there now. Very weird position. Takes here. I could go check. King back. Okay, let's trade the knight first. So they can't win the pawn. And now let's kick the knight, say you gotta take me. We'll take back with the rook, and we're gonna just try and rook lift. Instead, they don't even want that. Okay. Well, now we're gonna play queen here. I'd say you gotta do something with this, so you're probably gonna have to play that. But now we've created a hook. So we might be able to play takes, and then just h5. So let's go ahead and capture. And we're going to play h5. Now they cannot take because it's checkmate. They do have that move. That's a good move. A good move, for sure. I guess I'll slide up. I guess we'll just slide the queen up. They don't really want to take. They're offering a queen trade. I mean, this rook's not doing anything, so maybe we just play rook e1. So if they take, then we can start putting pressure onto this weakness on e6. I don't think this is the cleanest game ever. I don't think it's the worst game. Let's capture the pawn now. They take first, but my opponent takes the queen, but we have an intermezzo check. So we win a pawn, and then we're going to be able to capture here. Now, the pawn's not like the most valuable pawn, but we're up 2 pawns now. We'll probably lose this in the long run. And, I mean, I'm not really too concerned about that. We'll just push. If they want to take and damage the pawn structure, sure. Go ahead. There's no check because then rook takes. And of course, if they play knight back, okay, they take. Let's just take back, no worries. And now I'm thinking I just go here. Just double up on the rooks. Or on here, they'll probably have to play this. Instead, they protect. How do we make progress here? Here and here, maybe? I'm just noticing that this is pinned. I could also push. I can also just go after this weakness. Let's do that. Let's go after this now. They protect. Now I'm going to push b4. If they take, I get to take. Step up the king. It gives them access to this if they want, but they can't really do anything about that. Now they give us a check. Can I slide in this way somehow? No, I think I need to start bringing the king up in. I think that is what I need to do. So let's keep walking in. King there is a good move. But I guess now we'll go rook a1 and just plan to play rook a6. Attacking this. This pawn is pinned. King up. That feels a little bit sus. They want to push. Not really too concerned. Let's play rook a6. Here, here, here. It feels like they don't really have much after rook takes. Let's take this. Check, but where do we go? Do we go forward or do we go back? If I go here, they can take, but then I would take this. Going forward feels better, but I don't know. Maybe it is the right way. Giving up this pawn. Going back could also be correct. Here, check. Or here takes. Well, here they have to take, then takes. King up, check. Yeah, maybe I have to slide back 1 square. And just protect everything. Maybe this is the way. They can't go here, so if they want to come and try to win this pawn, they have to make 2 moves. But now they aren't going to trade. Ooh, okay. I did overlook them, didn't I? Okay, we can't allow this check. So we're attacking this pawn. This one's very, very weak. And they're coming after this. Should be able to force some trades here. After it takes, we can come in. Yeah, now let's come in with the rook, and we should be able to get a rook off the board. But I guess they can take this pawn. We just have an extra pawn, though. And let's see if my opponent can hold on to it. No, well, now they can't. Now they cannot hold on to that. It's two connected pass pawns. So they want to take. I mean, I can get behind this and start pushing, maybe. Rook takes on here. King up. Let's push our pawn. They can't stop it with the king. They have to go with the rook. So let's go here. And then let's go here, here, and we can cut the king off, I think. No, now we just bring the king this way. Oh my gosh. Okay, maybe we're drawing this now. Crazy enough. Yeah, my opponent actually was able to draw the game. Hey, I mean, that is a lack of my gameplay, but also props to my opponent for holding a draw here. Hey, they did a good job defending. I did a bad job trying to convert. We both played with 84. Scandinavian, they just got a really bad position out of the opening. We actually blundered here. They could have took. I mean, they're getting a pawn. Well, what's the idea? Oh, they can take. King b1, g6. And I guess they're just up a pawn now, cleanly. Instead, they go into this. And we have a lot of play here after they start losing some of these pawns with check. So we're just up 2 pawns, but we're not able to convert. This is definitely one of my weaknesses. Yeah, rook c1 was... Yeah, what am I doing? Why did I go here and here? You can just go rook c1. Yeah, that was silly. And then this is still completely winning. We did find the best move. Going forward, well, now it's saying it's better. Okay, never mind. But they allowed a lot of counter, or I allowed a lot of counterplay. Takes. This is all the best moves. It's just, how do you win this? And then if takes, you go d6. Oh, they can't go here. So I needed to realize that I can just push the pawn without putting the rook behind it. Even here, push. And I was actually debating on this. And then, I mean, they gotta do something. They can't come forward. King g3. Now you bring the king. And you hold on to the pawn. That was what I did wrong. I moved the king, allowing their king in. It's literally one move in the endgame. And you can just be completely obliterated. Yeah, so, I mean, props to my opponent. They played good.
All right, we have somebody with the white pieces. Let's play e4. Opponent's playing e5, so we're going to go ahead and play the Vienna. This is a great opening choice at the 13 to 1400 level. And we see knight f6, and one of the main reasons to play the Vienna is this move f4. And as you get better, people are going to know the move d5, which black is very, very comfortable in, but it's still playable. But it is one of the downfalls of playing the Vienna gambit. Now my opponent plays d6, which is fine. They're just protecting the pawn. We're going to go ahead and develop. And, you know, okay, they go here. We're going to bring out our bishop, and we have some sneaky traps sometimes. So we can go ahead and capture the pawn. If my opponent takes, we can actually sacrifice the bishop. And if king takes, we have check on the king, attacking the bishop twice. And now we're simply just going to be up material. just up a pawn, but we're going to be able to play d3, get the bishop out, and just simply castle. Let's take. Also, the king's on the f file now. So the rook's going to be able to come there, and it's going to be very, very nice. If they don't take, we're actually going to castle. Okay, they go there. Let's go ahead and take back with the queen. And now my opponent is attacking the knights. But I think I can just castle, lining up the bishop with this. And if my opponent gives a check, I can just go king to h1. And we're threatening to potentially play e5 in the future. Not right away, but maybe then even knight d5 will be a move. So let's go ahead and castle. We're up 2 pawns. My opponent's attacking my queen. Okay. I want to be able to continue to protect here. I can maybe play queen to e6. If check, we still just move. And then we're actually threatening to play e5. So let's play queen to e6. The knight can't really develop. I can just push. If they were to take, that's a free piece. And now, yeah, just e5 is a big threat. Opponent's offering a queen trade, but I can just go check. If they block, we can take the pawn. And if they move the king, we can actually just take the rook. So let's go ahead and give a check. My opponent made a huge mistake. They should have played queen to e8, but instead they played queen d8, thinking it's protected by the bishop. However, they're sadly mistaken because the bishop is pinned to the king and my opponent resigns. So we played with a 97. My opponent played with a 68. And yeah, so I like to play this way. The best move is to play bishop e2 because after knight here, you know, you're never really worried about the knight jumping in and whatnot. But with this move, they just need to develop, and they're already threatening to come here, and it's pretty annoying. So yeah, like it wants us to go bishop to b5, pinning. A lot of people naturally will maybe play this or castling, but it runs into knight d5, knight d4. I guess that one doesn't. ef first. And then d4 isn't possible. Well, it is possible, actually. Anyways, you get the point. Sometimes, you know, they'll get the knight coming in, attacking this twice, and you got to drop the bishop back if possible. So it's a little bit dubious playing bishop to c4, but it gives you chances, as we saw in the game, because after takes, they actually can't take back. They need to take the knight first, and then takes, and then take, because, yeah, and then our position is just slightly better. We can jump in. Takes would be pretty devastating. Castles, we can probably castle. Oh, there's also just a trapped rook. So yeah, but this is a nice tactic. Takes, and then this is a common tactic that you should be looking out for whenever you have a pin with the queen and a knight here. It's very common that you can take something in the center or move the knight, attacking the piece while also attacking it with the queen. So yeah, we're able to do this. We gain a couple pawns, and their king is not safe. We're able to castle. They go there. We could have went a few different places, but you know, going back still just threatens this. Queen here, king h1, and then knight d6 probably, or knight d7. One of the two, stopping d3 or e5. But yeah, my opponent misses that. There's a pin on the bishop. There's also just going here, which, you know, is also crushing. The position just plays itself. So GG. Let's find another opponent. All right, we got the black pieces. we're going to play a Caro-Kann, of course. And my opponent's going for an early f4, so let's go ahead and play d5. They'll push through. And the plans in this type of Caro-Kann is actually to play knight h6. Okay, my opponent takes, so let's capture back. They develop their knights. Let's just develop our knight now. And this is similar to an exchange Caro-Kann, since they've captured. We don't really need to be worried about this. But can they jump the knight in somehow is a good question. I don't think so. Let's develop. If they jump the knight in, we can always protect. Now my opponent castles. I could give a check. And it almost looks like we're winning the bishop already. So before they castled, whenever you move the f-pawn, you need to be very careful. We can go check. We attack the bishop. So they should have took the bishop before castling. And of course they can go here, but then we take this. And we're just going to be winning the bishop outright. Opponent moves the king out of the way, and now let's just capture the free bishop. We still have to convert. They come out attacking our queen. Now, I think I'm just going to slide the queen back one square. They jump in with the knight. So they're going to look to be pretty aggressive, I imagine. And that's fine. We want to consolidate. If I were to take, this pawn could become a little bit weak with some kind of queen moves. And there's no real need to take here. So I think I'm just going to develop the bishop and then plan to play e6, get the bishop out, and castle. And there's no bishop or g4 because we can probably take and then take, or takes, some kind of business like that. Here. Let's go ahead and just play e6. Remember, we have an extra piece. So it's okay if we lose a pawn or whatnot. We need to get our king safe right now. And we want to try and avoid allowing the opponent to have as much counterplay as possible. My opponent's playing moves like this, but they need to finish their development. Let's go here. We're going to threaten to win a pawn. Queen goes over and protects. So that's no longer threatening to win a pawn. But now I think we're going to jump the knight in. We're threatening to fork my opponent. They can pin us, but then I'll take, and then they can take, and we just have a big trade. And since we're up material, we're okay with those kinds of trades. Queen moves. And now we could probably just castle. Let's just castle. So we've got our king safe now. We just need to consolidate. That's all we need to do. There's never any fork because the knight protects. Our position's very solid. They protect here because they want to move the bishop, but they can't even move the bishop right now. I think it's time to just capture. It's definitely not the best move, but I think we should be able to win this pawn. Queen here, maybe. But then we take. So they always have to be protecting this. But the queen's also protected, so I don't think they can hold on to e5. I guess they have rook e1, queen c7. I don't know. We should be fine. Now it's important that you actually practice these kinds of games and follow them through. It makes me mad when people resign these. Like, to be completely honest, because my biggest downfall as a chess player is actually winning these positions, and it's because everybody just resigns them. So it's actually beneficial for your chess for people to not resign positions and let you prove the conversion, because it's actually not as simple sometimes. And mistakes are easy to make. Like the position's probably like +4 almost, but sometimes you just miss tactical ideas or you allow too much counterplay. So it's good to practice not allowing that counterplay and making solid moves, logical moves, improving the position, and then eventually either converting into a completely winning endgame or just winning. Now, I think I need to go back here with the knights. I imagine we're going to see this. No, instead they go there. Let's offer a queen trade. Yeah, they don't want a queen trade. They should not trade queens, of course. Let's jump the knight back in, attacking this pawn. And that, I think we can just go here. Stopping any of this. Now we're actually threatening to take the bishop. And they're pinning us here. They're being very, very annoying. Like, it's kind of the issue. I can do this though. If they take, then I can take this, and I think we've tricked them. They can take, but we take their queen first. And if they move the queen, then we can take the bishop. And they go for this. And now we're going to be able to capture back with their knights. And this will just be a winning position. We're just up a piece. And now we have less pieces on the board. So it'll be easier. But even if material was slightly equal, they have some really ugly pawns here. Let's go here. We're going to just try to apply pressure to their weakness. Let's double the rooks. They can capture if they want, but trades is not what they should be looking for. So they push. Now, let's see. How are we going to continue? I think I can come here, attack this now. If they were to push, then I can take. But you still have to be precise, of course. Opponent protects here. Let's just improve the bishop. Try to maybe go here. If we can remove the knight as well, then we can win this pawn. There's another thing that I'm looking out for. Maybe knight here would have been a better move, but knight here, maybe this. Everything's winning. They step up with the king. I'm going to come back, actually. We're going to attack this. We're also just threatening to go here, so if they were to do this, then there's a fork. They push. So we could go here or here. Let's jump here with the knight. Now there's tactics brewing if they want to. I guess they can't stay here. Let's just go ahead and push our pawn. We're going to try and cement this in. It's kind of hard for white to come up with moves. Yeah, like they can play stuff like that. But it just creates a weakness, and now they can't protect that pawn. So let's capture. That's a nice tactic by my opponent. But, like I mentioned previously, we're okay with trades. So let's just go back here. And we'll protect. They're going to push, but I can just take it. Let's push our pawn. I'm going to go g6 because I don't want them to push through. If they go here, I'm going to play knight here and then try to jump in and control this square. And then now our plan's going to be to like push, potentially. We can just protect the pawn by pushing. Okay. I guess that's a move. Okay, let's move. And now I just want trades. Opponent's low on time too, so we played much quicker, but we definitely blundered a lot of stuff there, which is very, very annoying. Let's take. And now I'm just going to step up with the king. They do have a hard time pushing. They might want to go here, but I think we should be able to hold this. I'm going to play like h6 here, takes, start bringing the king. We have an extra knight. This is exactly what I'm talking about with conversion. We also could have just went here and won the pawn right out, but yeah, my opponent runs out of time. Let's take a look at this. We definitely spoiled the position. We were completely winning, but then, yeah, we just malfunctions. It's fine. We just play around. Knight here's a blunder because they could have pinned me, but then we have this, and it's still completely winning. And where's the big mistake? Slowly but surely. Went here, we allowed them to push their pawn. They get behind us, and this is still fine, but until here, yeah, we should have just went like this and attacked the pawn right away. Still winning. Like, if they take, we just take, and we're gonna walk the king in. We're still winning, but we really spoiled the position.